expressed by the host or guests do not state or reflect those of the company, its management, sponsors, or any entities they represent.
Oh, it's lit. We prime time. Subscribe, like, and share. Give us your feedback. Yo, I'm Manny at the plate and Kobe off a steal. Gretzky for the goal and Brady at the wheel. I'm a game changer, the Osaka of the tennis, and breaking scoreboards. Simone of the Olympics, defense and big business. The Mayweather who way better. From the greatness of Jim Brown, I've been down. Talking sports before I was off the porch. Screaming Bo knows while Jordan was playing horse. Late 80s getting torched by the drive and the shot. 2016 got a ring off the 3 in the block. They eased to forgot the cardiac kids. Price and Doherty, Bill in the Indian years. This who it is. Your host DeeTrynt, yo, that's a name banger. Come in the streets and talk sports with the game changer. Yo, your host DeeTrynt, that's a name banger. Come in the streets and talk sports with the game changer.
DeeTrynt, Game Changer Sports Talk, in the street sports. Man, what's really good? It's been a while. You know what I'm saying? I ain't been able to get up with y'all in a minute. So it is a pleasure and a privilege to be up here talking with y'all, all right? But since the last time we've been able to interact here on Game Changer Sports Talk on Industry Sports, make sure y'all follow us on all social platforms, all right? It's been a lot of drama going on. All right, I'm talking about it's been lit. All right. I mean, we talking NBA drama on multiple fronts. We talking NFL drama on multiple fronts. And then you know what's been a topic all off season? It's Cleveland drama. I mean, when is Cleveland not involved in some type of situationship for whatever reason? Like, however, though, we in a good place. So let's talk about what's probably the biggest. I ain't gonna say the biggest, but definitely to me, some of the most interesting news, and maybe what seems like could be the most positive. Brittany Griner. All right, Brittany, baby girl, we've been shouting to get you home. All right, just know that we all want you home. You got no reason being over there. You don't deserve none of what you being treated like. You know what I'm saying? It ain't specifically our fault, but we apologize that we couldn't get to your aid sooner. But finally, you know, the USA administration has finally figured out they need to do something after 4 months, like 5, whatever it go. All right. So the Biden administration it's crazy how we talking about sports and we talk about how our government is trying to make a trade with another government. All right. So after 160 days of imprisonment in Russia for vape pens virtually, the United States government has made an offer to trade a Russian arms dealer by the name of Victor Bout. I know nothing about this man, know nothing about his background. I just know what they put out there. I'll leave it at that. Russia want a guy that we got in prison in order to release Brittany Griner and Paul Whelan. I didn't even know nothing about Paul Whelan, right? Paul Whelan, I'm assuming, works for the government in some capacity. Now, he probably don't and just got fingered for working for the government because of his situation. I don't know. All right? But the government has offered to send Victor back to Russia if they send us Brittany and Paul. All right? It's about time. All right? We cannot allow other countries to think that American citizens are not valued in any capacity. All right, we just can't do that. So hopefully, by the end of the week, Brittany and Paul home. Brittany missed a whole season, a whole championship. All right. It's crazy. But hopefully she's home by the end of the week. And it's about time Biden made a damn move. About time you did something worth relevance. But that's another conversation for another program on another podcast. We happy that Brittany coming home. That's all we care about. Please bring her home. Another interesting NBA. Well, that was WNBA. Another interesting topic that arose this week was Kevin Durant. All right, and you are tuned in to Game Changer Sports Talk on InDaStreetzSportz. You feel me? Make sure you subscribe, like, share, follow, comment. You feel me? We taking it in. If you want to get up here and speak your piece, you know what I'm saying, feel free to hit the link. You know, you can come in or you can get in on the stream and on the chat, you know, however it works. You know what I'm saying? But you're definitely welcome to come on in and share your thoughts. Kevin Durant, or I say the Brooklyn Nets, have been in talks with the Boston Celtics about trading Durant. Reportedly, Boston has offered Jaylen Brown. Who was it? Jaylen Brown? Derek White. Jaylen Brown, Derek White, and a first-round pick was the reported offer. The Nets said that wasn't enough. The Nets feel like they need to offer more in order for them to make that trade happen. I'm assuming they probably want 3 or 4 first-round picks, and it was reported that they also wanted Marcus Smart. First off, why is Boston even trying to make a trade? Like, you just got Malcolm Brogdon, and then you brought in Danilo Gallinari. So I don't really understand why you're trading or offering to trade Jaylen Brown. Is it because of the backcourt? Is it because Jaylen Brown got 2 years, like $56 million left on his current contract? So do y'all think he won't resign? But Jaylen Brown reportedly has said he don't want to leave Boston. He's not interested in any trade that's going to take him out of the Rose Garden. And this really brings up an interesting convo because, I mean, don't get me wrong, man. Durant raw, bro. Like, Durant fire. His game, like his whole, like he a hooper. He the type of person you won't be in the number one option on your team because he's such a hooper. He's so dedicated to the game. You know what I'm saying? But Durant, 34. Durant got 4 years left on his contract, which means at the end of his contract, he's going to be 38. And, I mean, 4 years of Tatum and Durant is probably ugly for the East Coast. I ain't going to lie. That's probably, I don't know. That's, and both of them, they 6'10" and 7 feet, moving like guards on them wings. You know, with a Horford down there in the paint or Robert Williams, like that's, I ain't gonna lie, that's fire. But Jaylen Brown, 24, he's 10 years younger. He's already a dominant two-way player. Probably not the most elite, but he's definitely a top 5 two-way wing right now. Why would you trade him? Why would you even engage in that conversation? And it was an interesting point brought up. I was listening to Sirius XM. I want to say it was Brian Scalabrine and Michael Gill-Seiler, I think. But it was, it was brought up. Toronto wanted to trade for Durant, but when they brought in Scotty Barnes up into the equation, it was a no-go. They didn't want to trade him. So if I'm Jaylen Brown, do I feel some type of way? Toronto didn't want to trade Scotty Barnes. He ain't proved nothing. Jaylen Brown is a multiple-time All-Star, all defensive player, all NBA player. If he ain't earned it, he will. He just came off a phenomenal NBA title, NBA Finals run, even though they didn't win it all. Bro, the majority of his career, he's either been to the conference finals or to the second round of the playoffs. I don't get it. Why? However the case, though, you still got Donovan Mitchell in Utah that's still being shot reportedly. It looks like Draymond Green might be on his way out of the Warriors, reportedly. Russell Westbrook could be on his way out of LA, reportedly. Miles Turner and Buddy Hield could be on their way out of Indiana, reportedly. And the Cavaliers still act like they don't know how to put together a good team, reportedly. All right? Let's say that reportedly. Before I even get into my hometown Cavs, though, we're going to go ahead and talk about a couple of these other things that's going on. Because, like I say, with the Durant and Jaylen Brown situation, it just, to me, makes this offseason a little more interesting with all the other names that's being floated around that could be traded or might be traded or getting right up or whatever the case. I feel like this is the season for a lot of movement. Everybody's getting better. Even the teams that don't look like they getting better got some pieces. The Thunder got a lot of good young pieces. The Spurs even got quite a few young quality pieces, right? Indiana has quite a few young quality pieces. Detroit has quite a few young quality pieces. I'm just naming all the bottom tier teams so far. Houston has quite a few pieces. So it's not like teams are just in the gutter, the only team that look like they about to be all the way on some BS is Utah. But I can't even really knock Utah because you're not winning with the team you have. So if you ain't winning with the team you have, at some point, you gotta trade people while they hot, right? And you figure you didn't want to choose Rudy or Donovan over each other, so you trade them both. Listen, y'all, I don't know what's going on in Utah, but hey. So back to Durant and Jaylen. If I'm just gonna give my sentiments right now, Kevin Durant is not getting traded. You know why Kevin Durant is not getting traded? Because Bobby Marks, was it Sean Marks? Sean Marks is doing the same thing Daryl Morey did. If you want my player, you're going to have to give me something substantial. The only difference is there is no underlying plot between a GM and a certain player so they can come together, i.e. Morey and Harden. But I don't think Kevin Durant leaves. And if he does leave, it'll either be a mid-season trade or a next off-season trade. And I say next off-season trade because they're not going to re-sign Kyrie. I'm going to just tell you that right now. They're not going to re-sign Kyrie. Because there is no vaccination mandate this year, and that report just came out earlier today. For those that don't know, it was reported by a pretty reliable sports media figure that the NBA sent out a memo to all the league-wide that vaccinations will not be mandatory for this upcoming season. Though they will strongly encourage people to stay up to date with their vaccination shots and all that, it's not mandatory. It's not an obligation. However, those that are not vaccinated or however they work out the details of that will go under regular testing. Cool. I personally think that's exactly how they should go, because you're not going to tell a person, I'm signing you for these millions of dollars, and then go tell them, well, I could be on not paying you for not getting a shot or a vaccine that don't even cure nothing. Arguably, people who have gotten the vaccine, I'm not gonna mind because I got it too. I got it. But a lot of them have actually gotten COVID way faster or more often than people without the vaccine. I haven't gotten it at all. Thank my lucky stars. Thank the Almighty. I ain't got it at all. I ain't even came close to having it. And I'm very privileged to say that. But I like the NBA making this move. Stop trying to dictate what these teams going to be able to do with their personnel or what these players going to be able to do with their lives. If they're not coming in, putting anybody in danger, health-wise, or life-wise, there is no need for all this extra. You know what I'm saying? I think sometimes these sports leagues draw a fine line between employing and owning. You don't own no player. You are leasing the rights to that player, to that person's talent in that particular field. This is it. You don't own a player. You don't own his name. You don't own his name, image, and likeness. You are literally leasing his services to help fuel your brand. And I feel like a lot of people outside of the sports league tend to forget this part. All right? We need to do some reminding. But I like it. And I was saying that to say, you won't have no Kyrie issue this year. Because guess what? Kyrie plays. And had it not been for the vaccine last year, Kyrie probably would have played 70 or 80 games. I also feel like you're going to get a pissed off Kyrie Irving with a healthy Joe Harris, a more mature Cam Thomas, a more defined role of Nicholas Claxton. I believe that is. I don't think he got traded. I think he's still there. You're getting a pissed off Durant, because even though Durant don't want to be there, he gonna play his ass off. And I think Durant don't want to be there because they're not going to keep Kyrie. And once Kyrie leaves that team, it's just Durant by himself. So because of all these different little things, I feel like Durant is going to play in Brooklyn next year. Him and Kyrie, they might even go to the finals. That's a separate conversation for another topic, but they might even go. And it's going to be a world of things. Let's go to Donovan Mitchell. Let's go to Spider. Spider does not want to stay in Utah. That's the reason they're listening to options. Spider don't want to be in Utah. Royce O'Neal gone. It's just Conley and Bogdan there. I like Malik Beasley. He been getting a raw deal too. I mean, Malik started to shine in Denver just to end up getting traded to Minnesota, getting his contract. Finally, Minnesota's actually doing something. And now they moved him. Now, don't get me wrong, I ain't mad that they moved him for Rudy Gobert. But damn, bro, like, when do Malik Beasley actually get to showcase his skill? When does he actually get to do his thing? Now, I think he had a 4-year deal for like $65 million or some shit. And I think that contract is almost coming to an end, if I'm not mistaken. This is like 16 million a year. I think he's on like the last 2 years of that deal, maybe. Maybe he entered the last year of that deal, which is interesting. But I thought Spider and Malik Beasley could be a nice 2 and 3 combination or 1 and 2 combination. But clearly, Utah want to rebuild. And it's something about this Yabin. I'm sorry for messing up your name, bro. It's this 7'1" French dude that can dribble and everything else. He's like a guard and still can play big. Um, and there's video of him giving Rudy Gobert that work. At 16, he was giving Rudy Gobert that work. So if that's who they tanking for, I guess it's cool. But that still goes back to where I started. What's up with Donovan? Where does Donovan go? I believe Donovan put in that trade request. They're just not calling it a trade request. They're just saying they're shopping Spider. Because if they say it's a trade request, and for those who don't understand how things work in sports, whenever you say this player requested a trade, it takes all the leverage from the team that's trading said player. So when they put it out, we're shopping him versus demanded a trade, that allows the team to negotiate in a better position to get more assets, however that works. Okay. So this is where, you know, Utah gonna be running up the price, dog. I ain't gonna hold you. I think I think no. Let's go to places you think he might go. Let's go there. Places I think Donovan Mitchell could end up, right? A lot of people um, keep saying New York, the Knicks. The same Knicks that just signed Jalen Brunson to what, 100 million over 4 years. Now I think Jalen Brunson was a second round pick, so his extension stuff don't interfere with them trading. Um, I don't know why I inboxed that to you though. My bad, my bad, bro. But I mean, Donovan with Jalen Brunson is a very little backcourt. Okay, but the Knicks seem to be willing to run with that. I want y'all to hold that I said that for later on when we start talking about the Cavs, right? But clearly, you know, Brunson with Donovan, RJ Barrett seems like something the Knicks want to do. Obi Toppin, Mitchell Robinson. That's not a bad combination. That's not a bad starting lineup because you're going to get buckets. You're going to play the wing. You're going to get some defense from at least your 1, 3, and 5. So your 2 and 4 could really just put up points. I mean, that's kind of how a real structured team works in the NBA. Your point guard should be able to facilitate and hit open shots. Your 2 should be a scorer. Your 4 should be a scorer. Your 3 should be a tweener. Your 5 should, Wait, hold on, y'all. Give me a second. Bro, jump in here right quick. Hold on right quick. Give me a second.
Oh, okay. Let's see. I didn't took a break and came back. I see him popping his head. I just see him pop his little head in. But I took a break myself. I'm gonna let y'all watch something while he gone. That's what I'm gonna do. Let's put on who we got. Who we got?
Man, I appreciate that. Hello?
You back. I was gone
We back.
myself. I came back and you was gone.
Yeah, man. Man. I had look. My apologies, y'all. My little mama woke up. I had to tend to that right quick. Make sure she was good right quick. You feel me? Appreciate y'all patience. You know what I'm saying? So, Donovan, James, we are about to be talking about Browns in a minute.
Right, and you need to hit that link and join the chat, man, so you can talk your shit.
You know what I'm saying? We definitely about to get to these Brownies.
Get that link, man. That's in that description where you can come on here and talk your piece.
For sure. And as anybody who joined in, look, we streaming on all social platforms, all media platforms, all right? Twitter, Facebook, the Gram, Twitch, YouTube, you know what I'm saying? Follow us, DeeTrynt or InDaStreetzSportz, you know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all go to the website. We got the sports articles for you too at InDaStreetzSportz.com, all right? Donovan, Knicks, maybe. Sounds good. Where I really like Donovan Mitchell at is Miami. I like Donovan Mitchell in Miami more than anybody else. Because if you get Donovan playing that point over there with Jimmy, a practice ticket, bro, I would love to go to a Browns practice, bro, but that probably ain't going to happen. Not this offseason, for sure. I would love to. I might be able to go to the Jacksonville preseason game, though. I think that might be possible, but we're going to see how that work out.
Doug, when is the practice ticket for what day you got, Doug? What you talking about? Oh, finish doing your thing though, DeeTrynt.
No, you good, bro. You good. So I missed the part where it said Bud. He ain't talking to me. That ain't my nickname. But anyway, I like Donovan in Miami more than anything. I think he would fit more over there. Personally, that deal would definitely be offering Hero and Duncan Robinson. But I think Hero, Duncan Robinson, Malik Beasley. I think that don't sound too bad as a rebuilding blocks. That's all I'm saying. Let's go to the topic of today too. Before we go to the Browns, let me stay on NBA. Draymond Green is reportedly wanting a max contract of what is it? 33 million a year, 32.8 million a year. I think he come out over a 5-year contract and come out to like 164 million. Draymond Green is 32 years old. And if I was the Warriors, he would not get a 5-year deal. Now, a 3-year deal? Possibly. Whatever deal puts him at the end of Steph and Clay's current contract is the deal he can get. Because once you start breaking those three up, you're going to have to start going in a different direction and playing a different style of ball. Now, if you think, because they're the reigning champs, if you feel like over the next 2 seasons that they can still contend for a championship and it doesn't hinder the development of your young players, a la Poole, Kuminga, Wiseman, Moody, then you make that deal. But Draymond got to be the most delusional player in the world if he think anybody other than Golden State think he's worth anything over $20 million. I understand, right? what you are worth to a team that utilizes your skill set is different than the price you're worth to the rest of the league. That's in any sport. Whatever your talents are worth to that particular franchise that you're with or started with is not the same price for everybody. Everybody don't get treated like that. That's superstars get treated like that, not co-stars or star role players, which is to me is what Draymond is. He's a star role player. People would say, "Oh, you tripping, you disrespecting Draymond." No, I'm not. Draymond is not going to be the first, second, or third option on anybody's team. Fourth option, fifth option, yes. First three options, not at all. Draymond ain't showed in not 9 year he been in the league that he can give you 20 plus points a night. He ain't even showed you he can get you a real double-double every night. Even though I think Draymond could get you like 13, 8, 6, 7 assists, 2 blocks, 2 steals. Is that worth $30 million to everybody in the league? No. But we gonna see. We gonna see what Golden State do. But I don't know, man. You gotta live in reality, Draymond. If you think anybody else in this league is gonna give you that, your best bet would have been to make this statement when CJ and Dame was still in Portland, and you could have made that argument. Because I could have made the argument that if you put Draymond, hold on. I paused because James just put something. He said Draymond want to retire and talk like Shaq. He forcing their hand. He already got to deal with TNT. I think he has a few sponsorships and a few pending deals when it comes to his media personality. I'm not all the way sure, but I do think he got some things pending. And I think whenever they gonna pay him because Draymond like to talk, and he's an interesting talker. He is. He says things that make you want to listen to him. And I don't think he's all the way out of pocket with his statements. I just think he's unrealistic about his value outside of Golden State. So, look, whatever happens with Draymond, he's still gonna be successful in life. You know what I'm saying? Like he's still gonna be good. So props to him. You know what I'm saying? Kudos to him and all that. But bruh, only Golden State, and not even Golden State think you worth 30. 25, you could probably get easy. But 30, you pushing it, bruh. Russell. In this supposed trade to Indiana for Buddy Hield and Miles Turner. I think if I was Russell Westbrook's camp, I would take that trade contingent on Indiana buying you out for at least $40 million. If I'm Russ, though, I ain't gonna even hold you. If I'm Russ, bro, if y'all come with 37, I'm out. Because guess what? Nah, fuck that. Make them buy you out for at least 40. Fuck that. Russ, get your money. If they're gonna give you 45, fuck it. But at least 40. And if I was Russ, I would go sign with Milwaukee. That is what I think Russell Westbrook should do. I think he should definitely let them make that trade to send him to Indiana. Indiana's going to buy him out, and then he should go play point guard in Milwaukee. Russell Westbrook with Drew Holiday. Crit, 40 and gone. Listen, tell him again, James, 40 and gone. Look, you put Russ with Holiday, Middleton, Giannis, Portis. Come on, bruh. That's a squad. That's squad. Because guess what? Giannis and Russell on a break. What? Drew Holiday trailing or Middleton trailing? What? Do you know how wide open the hole gonna be for Russ or for them shooters? Cause don't, bruh, listen, it is going. Oh my God. Okay. But that's what I think. And I think that's a good trade for the Lakers. You know, Buddy Yield don't want to be in Indiana, neither does Miles Turner. But if you put them, the shit would be scary if he went to Milwaukee. I agree, James. It would be ugly. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I like Yield, Buddy Yield playing with LeBron. I like Miles Turner playing the center and allowing Anthony Davis to play the four. I like that. That's raw. I like Austin Reeves on their team. I think Austin Reeves is fire. I like Horton Talon Tucker. Taylor Tucker. Taylor Horton Tucker. Taylor Horton Tucker. I think that's his name. So, you know, TJ says Westbrook sucks. Nobody wants him. TJ, nobody agrees with you. Nobody agrees with you, bro. What sucks about Russell Westbrook is his $47 million contract, not the player, Russell Westbrook. Okay? That $47 million sucks for any team. I don't care who you is. That sucks. But him as a player is an asset. All right? And if he goes to Milwaukee, you could pencil them in for a championship. Definitely a finals run. Nobody in the league is stopping that. Nobody. That's too many bodies to have to check. That's too physical. That's too that team will literally be one of the fastest teams in the league. TJ says the Lakers should give up their picks for Kyrie. No, they shouldn't. They should trade Russell to get Yield and Turner. Now, I will say this. I'll give you this, TJ, though. I will give you this. All right. If they did do that and then they turned around and traded Taylor Horton Tucker and, you know, and a couple picks to get Kyrie, then that trade, then I'm cool with that. But they can't do that trade and still have Russell on the books. And I like it because ultimately Bron could play the point. I mean, the facilitator like he usually do. Kyrie and Buddy Hield could play the 1 and 2, which is fine. AD and Miles Turner in the paint, that's a legitimate championship team. They bench ain't shit. They bench sucks with that. But that's a legitimate championship team. And it's quite a few scraggle players out here. I mean, they still got Melo, I think. I think Melo might be a free agent. No, James, that's true. Kyrie is the truth. But since Kyrie is a topic, before I go to the Browns, let me say this. Kyrie needs his own team. This is not what people would call probably a smart suggestion. All right. But usually my suggestions don't seem smart to people until months later and they like, oh shit, he should do this. DeeTrynt said that shit months ago. Kyrie in Houston would be fire. Kyrie, Jalen Green, Porter Jr., Jabari Smith, Sagund. They would be fire. Kyrie added to that team alone makes them a playoff team. Alone. But now you're giving him guys that's going to run with him. That can score and create. That can play two ways. Listen, bro. That's me. If it was Kyrie, if I was you, I'd go to Houston. The team is yours. They're going to build around you. They got a young squad. Houston can give up the draft picks. Kyrie's going to draw a big man or two over there to play. That's just me. All right. TJ say Draymond going to the Lakers next year. I don't know why the Lakers would need Draymond, especially since Anthony Davis don't want to play the 5. On top of that, I think that's no different than them bringing over Russell Westbrook. Like it don't make sense. There's not enough shooting on the Lakers for Draymond to survive. Draymond has to be on a team full of shooters. if he's not on a team full of shooters, Draymond is a liability because I don't care how much defense you can give me. The name of the game is put the ball in the bucket. And that's not something that he can do on a consistent basis. So I can't go with that, guys. But as far as the NBA is concerned, we still this the end of July, so we still they'll be fighting. No, actually, James said Draymond and Brown will be out there fighting. To be perfectly honest, bro, from what I know, Draymond and LeBron are very good friends. Very good friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, we might link up and just kick it sometimes, friends. You done been in my house and kicked it with my family, friends. You know shit about me. A lot of people in the media don't know friends, I think. So I don't think they would be fighting. It would be funny, but I don't think they would be fighting. However, though, I do think Draymond will hold LeBron a lot more accountable to things, but all of that accountability is irrelevant because LeBron has entered his 20th season as one of they never been on the same team for sure. But like LeBron solidified. Like, you know what I'm saying? So if Draymond ain't really bringing that element, I don't really see how that works. It is what it is. But as far as the NBA go, like I say, it's still like 12 weeks, 11, 12 weeks before training camp starts. We get in the preseason, and by the end of October, we're into the start of the NBA season. So we gonna see what else happens, man. We gotta see what's gonna happen with these moves. Who getting moved? Who getting traded? You know what I'm saying? Will John Collins still be on the Hawks? Are they content with their team? The Kings. Kings look good, bro. What can they? It's gonna be interesting to see. All right. But let's switch this up to football. All right, because that's what we here for. No, wait. Before I go to football, hold on. Before I go to football, I gotta talk about the Cavs one time. Hold on, y'all. Because I'm not even a player and I'm insulted. I'm insulted. I'm insulted by some of these media personalities. I'm insulted by some of these reports. I'm insulted by a lot of these so-called Cavs fans and this delusionality they got about what is or isn't good for the team. All right. I will say this, and I'm going to look you dead in the face when I say this. If the Cavs fumble not retaining Colin Sexton for a long-term deal, this team will be a playing team for the next 2 years. All right? People going to look at me crazy. You really think Colin moved the needle like that? I really do. He moves the needle like that on this team because Colin is a closer who can get his buckets. Colin can actually pass. Colin played better D than Garland. This isn't even debatable. But we're talking about offering him $13 million a year. Offer him $16 million a year. For a legitimate all-star caliber player that is efficient and getting 24 to 25 plus points a game with 4 assists. He did that on a team that was untalented. Now, people talk all this, but the Cavs had no, bro. When Colin did his all-star run and he was snubbed from, Darius Garland was considered the worst draft pick ever and a bust. But people act like Darius Garland and Colin Sexton ain't play 111 games together. Okay? I like Darius, bro. I don't have an issue with Darius. I don't think Darius was worth $230 million. I don't. If it was me, I would have gave him 150 and I'd have gave Colin 150. And that's my starting backcourt. Now, This argument I've already made. So if you don't know why I feel like that, feel free to follow Game Changer Sports Talk on InDaStreetzSportz, on Anchor, and on Spotify. Go ahead, check out those previous episodes where I broke down why I like Garland and Sexton together and the type of production that they can give with this team. All right, I've already banged that out. So if you want to know, definitely go subscribe, go look, go check that out. But the Cavs are notorious for fumbling talent, signing bad contracts, and believing shit that ain't real. Kobe Altman, I've been defending you for a lot of seasons. I've been on your side when nobody else thought you was a good GM. Do not make this move and prove them right over me. Because if you make this move, you don't retain Colin for a long term, your job is going to be in jeopardy.
Do you think Dan over his head?
Your job is going to be in jeopardy. It's Dan. It is Dan, bruh. Listen, let me tell y'all why I say it's Dan. It's only one contract on this roster that is holding up all this bullshit. And that's Kevin Love's contract. Dan Gilbert don't want to buy him out. But Dan Gilbert was the one that forced Kobe Altman. So now people are trying to tell me or make me believe that Kevin Love at 34 years old, getting paid $30 million a year, playing 20 minutes off the bench, but is unreliable in clutch time because he can't play D, can't hold his own, is more valuable, or is 30 million is worth him, but it ain't worth paying Colin 25 million to be your closer, your premier scorer, even if that does mean he leads the second unit off the bench. You're telling me Colin isn't more impactful on the team than Kevin Love, who's been a hindrance on this team for the last 4 or 5 seasons? But if I say, oh, this is some racist shit right here, everybody go, oh, you always involved in racism. You always talk. Darius Garland got his money. It can't be that racist. Bruh. When Colin Sexton got the supposed bad rap as a teammate, who was the person that gave him that label? Kevin Love? Is this the same Kevin Love that was throwing little bitch fits on the court, throwing little temper tantrums in the locker room and at the practice facilities? Is this the same Kevin Love that didn't show up to work for like 90-something games? Fuck is y'all talking about? You want to pay this bitch $30 million, but you don't want to pay Colin 25. And this nigga literally carried the team for 3 seasons. Fuck is you talking about? That shit be having me so pissed because the logic don't make sense. This guy is a premier scorer and a closer. He is 6'1" with a 6'9" wingspan. He can get his shot off on double coverage, triple coverage. He is arguably one of the fastest players in the league under control. And you're telling me Love deserved to get paid, but Colin don't. I can't stand you motherfuckers. Y'all aggravating. Because none of this makes sense to me. And my apologies. You know what I'm saying? I'm allowing my hookup right now because I get real heated about that. Because Cleveland doesn't reward loyalty. And they wonder why nobody wants to decide to come play here when it comes to basketball. Because football has figured out how to alleviate this problem. Baseball ain't figured out how to alleviate that problem, but the Guardians' problem is the owner who ain't willing to spend. We got an owner that's willing to spend. He just rather spend $30 million on this white boy when you could have bought his ass out for $20 million And you could have added that extra $10 million onto the Collins contract. Now, if they would have came and said, Colin, we got $23 million for you. We got $21 million for you, $22 million for you. I'd have told Colin, take that shit and run. And I'd only take 3 years and make him up it up after a couple years after I ball out. But y'all really, really trying to tell me that Love is more valuable than Sexton when Lauri Markkanen could play Love role and be way more impactful and efficient. Fuck is y'all talking about, bruh? Colin been nothing but loyal. Matter of fact, the only reason this team got some camaraderie because through the players is because of Colin Sexton. The only reason these current draft picks came into Cleveland talking about some we want to help turn it around is because of Colin Sexton. Colin the one calling them. Colin the one getting them together. Fuck is y'all talking about, man? So quit disrespecting my guy. People talking about some, oh, don't nobody else in the league want to pay him. It's not that don't nobody else in the league want to pay him. They just don't want to have to deal with the Cavs to do it. Because I bet you down to $1, if Dallas would have signed Colin to that roster to that offer sheet, I bet you the Cavs would have matched it. On top of that, Karis LeVert has 1 more year left on his contract. Kevin Love has a year left on his contract. Cedi Osman has a year left on his contract. All right, so this tells me that, and this is just me being optimistic at the situation. All right, this tells me that it's possible that if Colin goes ahead and plays on the offer, on the qualifying offer, which I think is $7 million, maybe $8 million, if he ball out this year on that, then next year the Cavs gonna give him a big contract because they'll be in a position to do it, and the salary cap will increase. And in NBA, you have to spend a certain amount of money, mandatory. You gotta spend a certain amount of money. This is why a lot of these cats be getting certain contracts you don't think they deserve, because in the NBA, you have to spend so much money of your salary cap. You can't. The salary cap for the NBA right now, like 130 million, like 132 million. It with the luxury tax, before you have to start getting really penalized, it's up to 156 million. So an NBA team has to spend at least 112 million of their salary. They have to spend at least that. Okay. So, like I say, the Cavs will be in a much better financial position to do that. But I don't think they're all the way wrong for saying, hey, let's let Karis and Colin duke it out with a Okoro, and then we just keep the best of the bunch. If not, we lose a ball or we sign and trade them, or we open up a slot for somebody else that might want to come here depending on how we look. I don't think it's wrong business-wise to keep all your options open, because that's something I preach to everybody. When you're dealing with business, keep your options open. You never know when what bridge is going to be important to you. But I'm paying Colin. I ain't taking no chances, bro. I like Colin, and I think highly of his talent, and I appreciate the fact that he came to this Cleveland Cavaliers organization and put him on his back. People talk about, oh, the Cavs only won 20-some games when he was the leading scorer. How many games you think they would have won if he wasn't on the team? We won, let me see, it's 82 games. The pandemic year, they only played 65 games. Okay, so that year they went like 22-43.
I keep telling people,
The other,
if we had Colin last year, it would have been a whole different story, whole different ball game.
and it's crazy
We weren't
to
even
me
been
how,
in no play-in. We wouldn't even have to worry about no play-in. Believe that.
and this is why I'm like, bro, to say Colin don't move the needle is asinine. Colin moved the needle. All right. Once again, though, Because I've been went the fuck off on these motherfuckers for a long time. So let me just go ahead and end it there. Colin, as a Cleveland fan, bro, I want you here. It is a million of us that want you here, bro. And that's where we at with it. So let's transition to football right quick. You know what I'm saying? Before my little mama go hysterical and kick me off. All right. Cleveland Browns head coach says if Deshaun Watson's unavailable, then Jacoby Brissett is the starter. I don't know why Kevin Stefanski felt the need to say that. Anybody with any football sense would know that that's exactly what's going on. But you know, when you don't live in Cleveland or you don't keep up with the team and you dealing with all these other extra, like, people don't know what the fuck they be talking about. All right. We're perfectly fine with Jacoby Brissett starting in Deshaun's place. It's the whole reason we signed him. All right. We signed Josh Rosen. Now, I will give you credit. Josh Rosen is a cap arm for right now. But Josh Rosen could be a long-term backup. Wait, bro, jump in right quick on this Brown side for me right quick. Hold on.
I'm not about to talk. I'm the producer in the background on this show. But y'all check out some highlights from some of these young up and coming athletes from the city while he gone, man. It's my young homie Sharp right here. This when he was 9 years old. When he was 9 years old, man. Youngster's a dog. Little Sharp. Mike Sharp. I'll make sure y'all look out for him, man. Little Sharp gonna be a dog.
Oh, the Little League. What you got? Who is that? Is that the Panthers? Who's that? Telly Tigers? Who's that? Man, listen, y'all. This bring back so many flashbacks, boy. Let me tell you, all right?
Oh, my bad. I couldn't even. I thought you was hearing me. I didn't even have my weather alert on yet. That's my young homie, Young Sharp, man. This when he was 9 years old.
Yeah.
Plays for Bedford Bearcats, but I think he like 11 now or something like that. Ain't no telling. Youngsters getting older, but yeah, I just put that on while they was doing that.
Bedford had a 9-year-old team?
Yeah, them 9-year-old feet.
They got elementary football teams?
Hell yeah.
Bro, that's a different topic, y'all. I'm not gonna even get on that.
Yeah,
Wait, hold on,
I'm
y'all.
about to get this off the screen so you can do your thing. That baby just woke up. I see. That's what's going on over there. That's what's going on over there.
Appreciate. I really appreciate y'all patience. DeeTrynt, Game Changer Sports Talk, Industry Sports. We see you streaming on all social platforms, multiple media outlets, YouTube, Twitch. We on Twitter, Facebook. Afterwards, post session. You can catch it on Spotify, Anchor. Make sure you subscribe, like, share. Also, I would like to put out this time to say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Industry Sports Channel has reached 1,000 subscribers finally, which has opened us up to a multitude of things, super chats, and all type of craziness. We thank you. We appreciate you. Now we can just get y'all to come on and join us on all the other platforms when y'all coming in. We gonna get it popping, all right? So send your donations, send your feedback. For sure.
On the chat, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We everywhere like air.
And you always welcome to come on this chat. That's a fact. You're always welcome. But we talking football, right? Jacoby, Deshaun, I was at Rosen, all right? Rosen and Josh Dobbs, all right? If Josh Dobbs was on the practice squad, nobody would try to go for him. If Josh Rosen was on the practice squad, I don't think nobody goes for him unless he shows some type of oomph during this preseason, which I think he's going to play a lot of. But I also think he could be a long-term backup behind Deshaun Watson. In my opinion, if Deshaun is out any games, all right, and it is Jacoby Brissett to start, Jacoby Brissett is going to play well enough to earn a good contract from somebody next season. All these teams in trying to figure out who gonna be their quarterback per se, or is the guy they drafted ready, or it's quite a few teams with quarterback dilemmas that they ain't putting out there, but it is a few of them, and it's even the ones that don't seem like they got a quarterback dilemma. There isn't a guarantee that quarterback that they're depending on is going to actually pan out. We actually got to see that work. But so I was saying all that because I don't understand why Kevin Stefanski needed to put that tweet out there. Or maybe he just needed to do that in support of Jacoby to let them know, like, Deshaun's 1, Kobe's 2. There are no other situations about that. Because you had reports the Browns wanted to go for Jimmy G. Why the fuck would they do that? They didn't want to pay Baker's $18.9 million. Why the fuck would they pay Jimmy G's $25? Like, say some shit that makes sense, because that don't make no sense. All right. Oh, they're gonna bring in Cam Newton. Why would we bring in Cam Newton? How does that in any way, shape, form, or fashion help us? We already had Baker controversy. We still got Deshaun controversy. And you're gonna add Cam to the mix. That don't even. Who told you that? Anyway, training camp for the Cleveland Browns officially started for the whole team today. Or was it yesterday? It was yesterday. Yesterday. It started. Now, the rookies started training camp a week ago. I think they came in last Thursday or Friday. So they've been there a few days. And then the veterans and the rest of the team, they come, which was yesterday. Yesterday was Tuesday. Yeah, it was yesterday. I'm excited about this season, bro. People are legitimately scared of the Browns, and I fucking love it. They're scared. They're terrified. Yes, I said the rest of the league is terrified because if the Browns hit the ground running with or without Deshaun in the beginning, okay? Let's just say, let me just give you, let's just say, just to humor y'all, because I don't think Deshaun's getting any games. Let me say this. I don't think Deshaun gets any games. And if I even have to pivot off that a little bit and say he does get games, he gets no more than 2. He gets no more than 2. But I don't think Deshaun gets any games because, A, how the NFL has operated under their own verbiage of the CBA. B, Judge Susan Robinson's role as the arbitrator on top of being a decorated federal judge. And the most significant part of this all is all this evidence y'all brought out, and nobody has brought out any legitimate evidence of Deshaun Watson doing anything wrong. Wrong. Oh, he had 66. That is a lie. Oh, it was 24. That is a lie. Why is that a lie? Let me tell you why it's a lie. 2 federal courtrooms, state courtrooms, whatever. They said, we're not even pursuing this. For it to be all these cases, the NFL only brought 4 legit. Now, mind you, this has to hold weight, okay? They went in front of a federal decorated federal judge and brought 4 cases out of supposedly 60 that they thought were legitimate. So that means 95% of the accusations don't even have a foundation. All 4 of those cases were admitted by both sides involved that it was consensual interactions. However sexual it was or wasn't, they were all consensual. There was no force, coercion, or manipulation involved in none of the 4 cases. So you're telling me a superstar athlete at a prime position in one of the most decorated sports in the world should be penalized for getting action from 4 women that he paid for? Because of this, and that is my third reason, because of this, there is no suspension leg to stand on. So this is why I say Deshaun gets no game. If you want even further elaboration, go on back, subscribe on Spotify, Anchor, catch those old episodes where I went in depth more with this. All right. But like I say, let's just say for the sake of argument, Deshaun gets, and I'm gonna humor y'all. Let's just say Deshaun gets 6 games, right? Because that seems to be the number everybody favors. Let's just say he gets 6 games, okay? And the Browns go 5-1, 6-0, 4-2. Anywhere in that stretch, then Deshaun plays game 7. 6 games out of 17 still leaves 11. How many games out of 11 do you think this roster with Deshaun Watson can win? 7? 4? 9? And from that point forward, whenever he steps on the field and be with that team is legitimate Super Bowl contender for the rest of his tenure. Not the rest of the season. For the rest of his tenure. He signed a 5-year deal. $230 million guaranteed. So for the next half decade, the Browns are a legitimate Super Bowl contender. And that has the league terrified. Cleveland becoming a dominant sports market is terrifying to the rest of the country. That's media outlets, that's franchises, that's media personalities. To say, damn, bro, I'm gonna have to spend majority of my my professional my journalism or my analyst playoff run in Cleveland in the winter. for multiple years, which means more jobs for the city, more recognition for the city, more opportunities for the people living in the city. No, they don't want that. You know why? Because Cleveland is the best location in the nation. Do you know why Cleveland is the best location in the nation? Because for one, we probably got some of the freshest tap water in the world. Okay? Our tap water out our sink is more healthy than any bottle of water that you could buy out of the store. During the wintertime, our faucet water comes out cold. Oh, on top of the fact that we don't get hurricanes, earthquakes, tornadoes, what's the other, tsunamis. We're not even in a position to get a real tsunami. The most we can get is a great wave off Lake Erie that came from the Toronto, Ontario end. And I truly doubt by the time it makes it here that it's going to be a wave. Hold on, give me 1 second. InDaStreetzSportz, you feel me? I feel like I appreciate y'all rocking with me, man, because y'all know I'm, you know what I'm saying? My elements is my elements, all right? So, like I say, that has the league terrified. And when the rest of the country gets to understand what actually is in Cleveland, how much talent, how much intelligence is actually in that city, in that state of Ohio, period. How much we love sports and how many athletes that don't get recognized come from that market, it's going to change the whole game. Not just for Cleveland, but for small markets around the country. It's going to change the game. All right. Buffalo is a small market. If you have to go 3 consecutive seasons of Cleveland versus Buffalo in the AFC title game, that is a win for small markets everywhere. Okay? I'll go back to basketball. If the Cavs and the Milwaukee Bucks are Eastern Conference Finals matchups for consecutive multiple years, this changes the game for small markets. I'll take it even further. If the Guardians and the Royals or the Tigers have multiple years going for I forgot how they conferences go. But the East, you go for the East pennant, that changes the game for small markets. And the one thing that big markets have over small markets is the visibility. Once that visibility starts going to the smaller markets and not the bigger markets, once players start saying, I can legitimately change my legacy by taking a small market to the promised land on a consecutive basis, this is a game changer. And big markets don't want that, but they're going to have to get it. So these Browns right now, bro, are legitimate. This roster is amazing from top to bottom. 2 areas of concern. 2 areas of concern. Wait, hold on. This roster is fucking amazing. All right. The only 2 areas of concern that people would highlight is defensive tackle, interior defensive lineman, and wide receiver. These are the only 2 positions people are like, but I'll ask you this. When you have Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney as your ends, you don't need a spectacular defensive tackle. You just need defensive tackles that can hold their own. You need defensive tackles that cannot be blocked by one player. Once your defensive tackles can establish that they not only can not be blocked by one player, but they are very impactful when it comes to the interior run game, Jadeveon and Myles become that much more of a terror to any opposing offense. We ain't even got to the secondary, which is going to be even more of an issue for a lot of teams. All right. But these Browns, bro, these Browns is going to be amazing. All right. Now I'm going to tell you how I think this is going to go in the preseason. Understandably, I can see Deshaun Watson play every game of the preseason. I can legitimately see him play the first 2 or 3 series in the first preseason game. I can see him play the first half of the second preseason game. And I can legitimately see him playing the first half of the third preseason game. If it was me, he wouldn't even play the first 2 preseason games. He wouldn't. In my opinion, I want Deshaun Watson to sit on that field and see what it feels like to be a member of the Cleveland Browns with that fan base behind you. That's what I want to see. I just want him to soak it in. I want to see him be a leader on the sideline without being in the game, because that is what's going to dominate a lot of headlines. Man, he ain't play, and he could play, but he definitely on there with the team. And the 4th preseason game, he played damn near all fucking game. He played all game. I would keep opposing teams guessing on what the Browns are going to do with him by letting him sit the first 2 preseason games. That gives me a chance to see what Jacoby's going to do if he does get suspended and get him rhythm. It gives me a chance to see Josh Rosen and Josh Dobbs duke it out, to see what type of pressure they can put on this front office and coaching staff about who's the third quarterback and who's the practice squad quarterback. It gives me a chance to see a lot of my offensive weapons and could be weapons getting a lot of reps. You know what I'm saying? A lot of camp arms, they get a lot of reps. So do that in the first 2 games. I have Deshaun play damn near the whole third game because we get 2 weeks off before the start of the regular season. So now I get him damn near a whole game under his belt. He good. All right. If he gets suspended, he gets suspended. But at least I already worked my new starter in. He's already got his feel. He good. And that way, by the time my premier starter comes back, you feel me? He already got a game or damn near a whole game under his belt with the team. So it's not like he missing out. Now, don't get me wrong. You can stretch it out. You know, hey, the first series or 2 in the first game, the first quarter and a half, the second game, the first 2.5 quarters, the third game. That's traditional rep. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But I don't think this is a situation for that. Camp battles. Now I got to turn up on you. Camp battles. Hold on, let me get my spotlight going. Do I got my spotlight? Where my spotlight at? Where my spotlight at? Where my spotlight? Hey, let me give a spotlight. Hey, let me give a spotlight. Camp battles. is probably the most interested I've been in camp battles in a long time when it comes to the Browns. My number one camp battle. Defensive tackle. Who starts? Is it Winfrey and Taven Bryant, who I think should be the starters? All right. But we got to remember Tommy Togiai on his second year, Jordan Elliott on his fourth year. Being that those guys got a lot more tenure with the team, with the playbook, with the personnel, could those two end up being the starters and Perrion and Taven be the rotation in? Something to think about. But that is my number one camp battle. My number two camp battle. Number two receiver, slot receiver. This is a competition open to Donovan Peoples-Jones, Anthony Schwartz, David Bell. David Bell is out on the physically unable to perform list. I think they said it's a foot injury. I don't know how long that's going to last. When you got those foot injuries, bro, especially if it ain't something that you're going to get surgery on, it's something you just got to let heal. It could take a week. It could take 4 weeks. It could take 2 weeks. It could take 2 months. We really don't know. Because of that, I'm going to go ahead and move him out. Because regardless of whether he plays or not in this preseason, David Bell has a spot on this roster. Now, whether it's fourth receiver, second receiver, or third receiver, it remains to be seen. However, though, Donovan Peoples-Jones and Anthony Schwartz, they in a good position to show their worth. They in a good position to show their development and really stand out. We need a number two receiver. Will it be the speedster or will it be the physical specimen? We're going to see. Another camp battle I'm interested in. Well, I guess I'm the only person that think this is a camp battle. Let me say that first. I might be the only person who think this is a camp battle, and that's number 2 cornerback. In my opinion, this is a battle. Greg Newsome has to keep showing that he deserves that spot, and Greedy Williams just has to show he's fully healthy and he's able to just play in that spot. In my opinion, that is a legitimate camp battle. Who is the number 2 receiver? Number 2 cornerback. Whoever isn't the number 2 cornerback is the number 3 cornerback. In my opinion, now from what I've heard, all right, they got Newsome penciled in, and if they have to go to 3 receiver sets, if the opposing offense goes to 3 receiver sets, then Greedy will play the number 2, and they'll move Newsome on the inside. All right, basically keeping him on the field. I ain't too opposed to that. I ain't got no bad thing to say about that. But I just think y'all really underestimating who Greedy is, what his talent is, and what he's gonna be able to do without that nerve issue, that nerve shoulder issue. All right. So that's my 3 top. That's 3 camp battles so far. Defensive tackle, second receiver, second cornerback. Another camp battle that is probably should have been 2, could probably make a case for number 1, is the linebacking core. We know who the linebacking core is as far as the core players. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, Jacob Phillips, Anthony Walker, Sione Takitaki. We know this. If no other linebacker making this team, those 4 linebackers making this team, barring injury or whatever the case. But who's the number 1 linebacker? Is it the veteran Anthony Walker? Is it the 3rd-year player Jacob Phillips? Is it the 2nd-year player Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah? Is Sione Takitaki a legitimate rotation player? Or is he better as a special teams guy that you just got on clutch? That remains to be seen. Listen, the dark horse in this is Sione Takitaki. In my opinion, with his size, his strength, his athleticism, if Sione Takitaki can show that he can cover and tackle one-on-one, he make a lit, bruh. He go have them scratching their head. Like, damn, bruh, what do I do? So that number 4 on my position battle list. Who are the starters? Is it Anthony Walker and JLK? Is it Anthony Walker and Jacob Phillips? Is it Jacob Phillips and JLK? You know, it is I mean, which one is it? You know what I'm saying? Like it could be one. Is it Sione Takitaki and JLK? You know, I mean, that remains to be seen, but that is going to be interesting. Another camp battle. Well, not necessarily a particular camp battle, but like I say, DeeTrynt, Game Changer Sports Talk, InDaStreetzSportz. We stream on all social media platforms. You know what I'm saying? Various media outlets as well. And I've already penciled in 20, 41, 44 roster slots for the Browns. Now you get 53 players on the opening day roster. All right, active, if I'm not mistaken. They changed it from 47 to 53 active players. There are 9 slots available. All right, and before I go to that, let me backtrack on the receivers because I'm pretty sure someone's going to say, you didn't mention Jakeem Grant in the receiver room. Jakeem Grant Sr., you know what I'm saying? Shout out to my guy for having his kid. Jakeem Grant was brought here as a special teams player that can play receiver. Okay? So he's the 4th receiver. Let me just make this very clear. Jakeem Grant is the 4th receiver. Amari Cooper is 1. Jakeem Grant is 4. This is why I ain't really say nothing about the 4th receiver, and I'm just talking about the 2 in the slot. Because Jakeem is 4. Also, Jakeem is the gadget guy. He's a guy that you could bring in when you got Chubb and Hunt in the backfield and you want to run like an end around or a trick play or a jet sweep, you could bring Jakeem Grant in because people are going to be so focused on those 4 players, Chubb, Hunt, Amari Cooper, David Njoku, that they might forget about a Grant. All right? But he's going to make the bulk of his bread as a returner on this team, helping this game field position. So this is why I didn't mention him. I just wanted to put that out there. But I got the Browns pegged for 44 roster slots. That's a punter, a kicker, a returner. It's my 3 special teams. And then 20 positions, 21 positions on offense. No, 20 positions on offense solidified. 21 positions on defense solidified. That's what got my 44. If you would like to know who my 44 players are, please, I encourage you to go check out one of the previous episodes of Game Changer Sports Talk on Anchor or Spotify, where I laid out player by player, name by name. But I got them picked for 44, which means there are 9 roster spots available for the opening day roster, which I assume is the special team squad. Those 9 players are the special team squad. So you ask yourself, out of all the positions on offense and defense, 9 players got to stand out outside the core 44. All right? So that means, what is the future for Demetric Felton? running back Demetric Felton, and James Ford. What is the future for the third tight end if we have a third tight end? What is the future for, 6 out of 14 offensive linemen we got, being that we got 5 starters legitimately, plus Chris Hubbard, Pochich, and Hudson. So that's easy. So it's another 6 players after that. 6 or 7 players after that. All right. Defensive tackles. Well, not defensive tackles, defensive ends. You got Curtis Weaver. You got Isaiah Thomas, Chase Winovich. How does this work? Linebackers. You got Silas Kelly. You got Willie Harvey. You got it's another guy, I forget his name, but who comes out? You got D'Anthony Bell, the safety back there. You got Sean Jolly. You got Meanders. Out of all of these combinations of guys, you got Josh Rosen. You got out of all these combinations, which guys stand out to take those final 9 spots? Which guys will help build the special team core that'll allow us to get field positions that allow our offense and defense to really go to work the way they need to? That is. So, just to recap, my training camp battles: defensive tackle, wide receiver 2, cornerback 2, starting linebackers, and who are the last 9 roster spots to fill up the team. Now, anybody that has any suggestions, you have any comments, listen, feel free to comment on the videos, even if you catch it after we're post live. Comment on the video. We will definitely comment back. Email us, whatever the case. But let me know what y'all think. Who you think gonna fill those spots? Do you think it's someone outside the 44 that I've named whose job is in jeopardy? Like I said, if you want to catch those names, go catch the previous episode of Game Changer Sports Talk on InDaStreetzSportz. But with that said, it's been a pleasure rocking with y'all, especially all those that came in. It's been back and forth. I'm saying, I hope y'all share it, liked it. I hope y'all enjoy. Like I say, once we finish here, you can catch it on Anchor or Spotify. But I am DeeTrynt. This is Game Changer Sports Talk on InDaStreetzSportz. It's been a pleasure. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, and share. Stay blessed. Enjoy your evenings. Definitely get with y'all soon. One.